Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me, Dr. Gale and Dorothy and other people who are trying to watch it? No sound, no sound. Still, of course, it takes them a bit to get to it.
Here, I'll check out my phone.
Mike, no, it shows that it's broadcasting.
I know, give me a second.
Can you hear me, Dr. Gale and Dorothy? Yay! Everybody applaud tech support. He came down from his job that really pays him good money to the lady who pays him nothing but makes dinner. Okay, happy Valentine's Day. I am so frustrated with this. What I was going to say is, and I will go back and start again because I was just jabbering away like somebody could hear me. Not the first time that's happened in my life, may I say. What have I been up to? Last week I didn't come on for the week, and several of you contacted me and said, was I okay? I was okay. I was sort of dragging ass, but one of the things I did do is I built some grids because I finally got enough energy in my body to build grids. And this grid is called Allowance. And where my thumb is the up. I'm having a hard time dealing with the camera that's over here. And then I had Empowerment, which I think came out really pretty. The blue stones you see there at the top, those are Amazonite actually, and then the gray, the shiny metally one is hematite, and then it's picture jasper, and those all have to do with the kind of power and energy that's on here. And there's a lot of transparency and a lot of learning. It's a grid for change because it's got 5s in it. And the form I actually took it from was this. That's how I came up with it. And then the last grid is Earth. And it's hard to see because the stones are shiny, the 4 in the middle there. They're real shiny, but they're lepidolite, and it's a very shiny mica type of stone. It's really pretty. It's purpley. And then she's got purples and greens, which have something to do with that card. And the card of Earth is coming back to grounding on Earth and relating to the Earth. And I'm going to kill myself here. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, that's what I was doing. And it took to do those 3 grids took me a whole day because COVID just knocked the energy right out of my body, and it takes a lot of energy to do this stuff. Okay. Yes, sound is a lovely thing to have, I tell you. I don't know what happened. Every once in a while, my computer overnight just kills my microphone, and I checked it, and I thought I'd click the right thing, so Patrick's going to come back and make sure that everything's clicked the right way. Okay. What else have I been up to? Well, I taped a show with Danny Shea. If you don't know, he's doing an ET week. And it will be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's not going to be a premiere. You can just watch it. And it's just Danny interviewing me about kind of my perspectives on extraterrestrials and dealing with energy. So it's, hi Diane. It was a fun show to tape. Also, on the 16th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to be running a premiere of me talking with Gene Oristano. So I know there'll be sound on that one because it'll already been loaded into the system. But both Gene and I will be in the chat if you come at 1 o'clock, if you want to ask specific questions. And that would be a time. And she's with Evolving Spirit LLC, and that's a Facebook page. And she also does some really interesting meditation. She's a healer on any variety of levels, and she also is a licensed aromatherapist. And she talks about using all kinds of alternative things to make yourself feel better. And then busy day tomorrow on the 16th. I will also be on Andrea's on Lilac Lantern, and she wanted me to do a show with her on chakra stones for protection, and also to talk about some of what we're going to talk about a little bit later about changing energy lines. And so, and the cosmic and the earth-based energy changes that we're going through, that I think are really important for us to know, to understand, so we can understand how we feel about things. And then I'm going to, and then also probably on the 17th, but I'll post it and let you know, I've been in touch with a light worker in South Africa, and he's also a wildlife photographer, and he has been tasked to go around and reinvigorate pyramids of energy that were attached to ley lines that got disrupted when the continents started breaking apart, and now they're telling him for us to go to the fifth dimension, these have to be unified. Fascinating story. Got to come here, see what he's talking about. I'm really looking forward to that, but that will be a taped show also. I'm going to talk to him first because, well, you can see about, the problem isn't him being in South Africa. The problem's me trying to run this deal. I'm still working on ley lines and that information. I'm going to talk a lot about that with Andrea. I'm going to talk a little bit about it today when we're finished with stuff. But first I wanted to talk about the reading I did for today. I did it in the garden. It's over here. And the first thing I rolled, the mind went in, and it ended up false. And it says, don't listen to your mind. That whatever I'm doing today has to be done from the heart. That the spirit is the future. That my third eye and my throat chakra, speaking my own truth and trusting my own instincts, is where I get the most value. That my body's between fire and water, so it's dealing with some old, it's dealing from past life energies, and they're moving forward. And my clarity comes in the solar plexus, which is great because in the solar plexus, it means there's more than one way to express your power and move forward. And so I feel like that's kind of a good reading. It means a lot of people are learning and moving and emerging. But because I am still kind of tiredy, I am going to use cards instead of stones today to read. It takes a lot to read the stones. And especially because I think some of the questions I got today are not really good garden questions. And that's not, there's some that are and some that aren't. So one of them was, it's really kind of a really good yes-no. And it was someone who wanted to know about putting dates on a gravestone. And her initials are BB. She sent me her mother and her grandmother's names. And are they okay with putting the dates on the gravestone? So we're going to do this as a yes-no. Yeah, they're really 100%. They think you spent too much money on this, but they're really 100%. They think it's great. It's going to bring great balance back into your life. And okay, what's reversed on here to you is right side up to me. So this is right side up, this is right side up, this is right side up. I read reverses. This says that doing it the way you're doing it right now takes it away from, there's some other stormy discontent that went around this. And the only thing they were worried about was how much money you spent, but that they're totally on board with it. You got the star. So I think that's a good one. Then we're going to answer a question from MB, and it signs, I can tell you that yes, and I'm going to ask it though. She wanted to know if certain physical maladies she's been having are signs of ascension. And we're going to look and see if yes, and you were never prepared for dealing with people thinking you had the signs from Ascension. That's what, and also, I don't know if you're right or left-handed, but whichever handed you are, the one that you write with, that's your doing side. The other arm is your receiving side. The other half of your body is your receiving side. This shows to me that you're overdoing it or you're out of balance. You're either giving too much and not getting anything back, or you're grabbing everything and not doing enough. But I think it's probably more that you're doing too much. So that's the only imbalance. You're seeking balance. You're balancing to your energetic side to get out there. You really want to understand this stuff. Get out and do it. You are learning and you're spending time working on getting those things balanced and right. And it shows you're gonna walk away from some things you've worked on before. You're gonna say, no, this is the direction I need to go in. You're in a point of clarification. So yes, the physical science, the emotional ups and downs, and the ringing in your ears are all part of being part of the ascension. Okay. And somebody wanted to know about working daily on her self-improvement. Inside and out, she said. So we'll see. Okay. You haven't found the right balance of things to work for yourself yet. And you're stressing yourself more than you need to because you haven't met the right group of people to work with. That doesn't mean they're not out there. It just means that right now, if you're feeling like I'm working on myself all the time, why isn't anything showing up? You haven't found the right group to transition with. And this transition means you may just need to sit down and write out exactly what you want to achieve or where you feel you are, and then look at that, because there's some part of your regimen that is not working out. Just that's why you're feeling frustrated, like, I don't think this is working. Keep coming back, watch the channels, go to the thing I just talked about, a gene site, because there's all kinds of people on there that are trying to help each other and become a new community to each other. You might need to reach out and work with some other people. This is why I had to do it kind of readings. I got a woman who wanted to know about her husband. Today would have been their 30th anniversary, but he died before he made it to this date. But she goes, she wanted to know how they were connected. And when I read that question last night, I read, it was kind of interesting because, okay, now, if you don't know how these past life readings work, this is the past life, and this is this life, and this is where you are right now. And in a past life, boy, the two of you struggled a lot. You had a lot of change and things happening around you, and what it kept doing to you is it kept locking you in the same place. And so it was kind of a frustrating life in that life, but you both were very supportive to each other. It's just, it didn't work out to be like one of the most highly successful. This has the sun. The sun, I don't care if it's right side up or upside down, it's great. And there's some control issues. What I saw when I was looking at that question last night is that you and your departed husband were siblings more in your past lives than you were romantically inclined. You have a long, long soul reach, and you wanted to know where he is. He's fine. That's the card that shows him he's fine. He's up there. He's watching over you. He's trying to help you any way he can. You were designed in this life to have the happiness you had. I think in these past lives, you guys had a lot of trials and tribulations that you got through. Let me see if I'm right about it. Siblings. Yeah. And this shows that you had the world here. You both had the same value system. You just knew each other when you met. You just knew that you needed to be together, and you were there when you met. And now she wants to know what's next in her life, so we're going to pull out this because you've got help upstairs. You got someone watching out for you, so that's good. let's see. I'm asking if your life's going to move positively in the next year, if you should watch out and see things moving positively. Hi, Terry. Okay, let's see. You got the Sun again, and the Wheel of Fortune. I think things are going to go on. I don't know if there took a long time to settle out his estate, and or settle out just getting your finances all cleared. But it shows that you've gone through kind of a risky time now. But the Sun's coming out, and it's all going to move forward. But I would expect really positive things to be as much 10 weeks, 10 months away. I think it's more 10 weeks. And things are going to be moving along for you. And I'm sorry about your loss of your husband. I hope that you actually got married on Valentine's Day, is what you said. Okay. Daisy wants to know about her boyfriend's, this is another past life one. Is her boyfriend's headache a product of something he brought in from a past life? So I'm going to do the yes, no on that first, and then we'll look at the life to see what it is. Yes and no. It starts out with justice again, trying to seek the right answer. He's not going to the right doctors yet. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying the cards are saying that. He's actually not in too bad a spot right now. He's ready to let this go and be done with it. But it is something niggling from a past life. So let's see if I can figure out what it is. Tammy, I'm going to get to your other question too, and I'll look at that one. Let's see. It's past life. Okay. The problem is he has a great deal of trouble making choices, coming up with choices, and now he's at a point in his life where he needs to move ahead and do some different things, but he won't pull the trigger and do it. Some of his headaches come from a past life where he did make decisions and he ended up being heavily lied to and being out in the cold and getting a lot of mixed messages. And right now he needs to figure out how to take care of himself better, because his own indecision is what's making him sick. Okay, let's see. Yes, you can hear me now. I know it's so much better when the microphone's really attached. Okay, so Daisy, yes, those headaches come from a past life. He has lived with this kind of indecision before. There's something he has to decide about to move forward, and he just needs to make that decision. And then, there's a lady named A.T. who asked about her family being pissed because for some reason she couldn't make it to her mother's funeral. That happened to me. I didn't make it to my father's funeral because I was hospitalized with pneumonia at the time. And then the family started playing with the family money. And that's the other part she's got. So let's see. We're going to do fence. Let's see if the family's lying to you about the estate and if there's a solution for that. Oh yeah, they're not telling you tales. You need to find a lawyer or someone, or find someone who can go into the probate court. If it's in Canada, they have probate courts just like ours, basically the same court system. Oh, I'll be your Valentine, Bill, DFW. You know that. Let's see about... Will that be successful? Yeah, if you go find the right lawyer, it'll shake it loose. And that's going to be finding someone who can just... They can just petition the court to get the documents. You can do that too. But if you don't know how to do that, then you might want to find someone who can help you with it. Yeah, they're playing with it. And I don't know if they're telling them they're distributing to you and they're not, but you need to see if they had any kind of estate at all, there'll be a probate on it. Tammy, who wants to know about a house. She wants to know what's the future. See if the future in your future housing is positive. I can look at your estate too, Bill. Tammy's house. You haven't found the right place to go yet, and you're still looking, and you're still considering, and you're getting frustrated. You kind of want to be done with this mess because it's tying you up and you're not able to move. But this card literally means physically moving to a house or from a house or to an office. And when it shows up in this question, it would be that you haven't found the house yet. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to ask, if you want me to answer your questions, I'll do the ones I can find that are in lowercase type. But if you put them in capitals, then I can... It makes it easier for me to spot the questions. But for Bill, about Bill's estate. What's a 411 on Bill's estate? And I take it we're talking about the New York one. 'Cause that's what I'm thinking of. It's coming towards you. You're going to get out. Be free. God, it's coming, Bill. Look, you got 3 nights. 3 nights on this. And you're getting out of prison. This is your middle card. That's you getting out of prison. So it's going to release you quite a bit. I know this is a friend of mine. I know a lot about this estate. I won't talk about it all now. It's, you know what I've seen? It's in the court, and it's just because of the courts closing up and opening up and closing up in New York. It's been delayed. Okay. Well, Tammy, we can do 2 things for you, and then I have one other one that I'm looking. Yeah. I'm going to do, why did my cousin want to meet with me last weekend? I did not go. Let's see. Okay, was the cousin up to something when they wanted to meet with you? Okay. Yeah, but they want to tell you some good news. You've been burnt by this cousin before. They had some good news to tell you. I think they're in love or getting married or something in their family's rounding out and becoming very positive. And they would kind of like you to be part of it. Okay. And you gave them a good enough excuse. I would maybe try to go talk to them again because it's going to be positive for you. You're right, they have been bad in the past, but that doesn't mean they're going to be that way forever. Now we're doing Tammy's. Okay, we're going to do 2 things. Should you buy or should you continue to rent? I take it you are renting because... Okay. So the first row is going to be buy. And then the second row is going to be rent. Buy. Okay, rent. Okay, it says for the time being you should continue to look to rent because you don't quite have all the money together to get the house you want. And if you bought anything now, it would be less than what you wanted to be in and you'd just be frustrated. So, yeah, and you feel trapped renting, and it's not as much fun as you'd like. But the out card of renting is you'll end up in a place where you can do what you wanted to. Okay, and they see Nancy Jean if you have the time. Okay. Okay. Is the energy that's poking your right ear negative? I'm going to read that question that way. It's trying to get you to hear. It's trying to get you to respond. It's a little bit different kind of energy, but it's trying to make you listen so that you'll get off the dime and start moving forward. And you can get what you want if you do that. And don't be so judgmental about it. I don't think it's anything you should fear, because I don't feel any fear in any of these cards. But I think you got the wish card here. So if you start really listening, you're not hearing something that's in your mind. And you know, when we readers talk about hearing things, it doesn't necessarily mean we hear the words. It means we get the thought and put the thought in our brain. Let's see. I saw some questions go by. I'm going backwards on the questions list, guy. Okay. People got a whole conversation up here. I can't begin to follow because I'm trying to read it backwards. Sound is on. Okay, so we got back to sound and on. Okay. I'm going to talk to you about what I've been studying. And we're in a time of incredible change, because one of the other people that I'm going to have a show with is this guy who's working with recreating ley lines in South Africa. Okay, Diane, I'll go to you right after I talk about this. And he happened to find me because he found out I was doing a lot of research and work with energy lines. And the energy lines he's working with are ley lines that were created by the energetics of our planet when it was formed. And I watched some of his videos about when he was reconnecting ley lines, and he's actually reconnecting ley lines that got severed, like I said, when Australia broke away from the main continent. And I'm going to talk to him for about a half an hour, and then I'm going to tape an interview with him to find out exactly what it is he's doing and how does he find out about ley lines. Because the ley lines are shifting because the cosmic energy, we were until 2017, our part of the galaxy was completely encompassed with like a plasma cloud that protected us from a lot of the subatomic particles. About 2017, the scientists began to notice that there were a lot more subatomic particles than they'd expected in the past. And then by 2018, we had completely moved out of this cloud. And they knew that about once every 12,000 years, we pass through this strange energy wave. And they suspect, from what they can tell that's in the rocks and where they've been able to see it before, that we're going to have about 500 years out here in what happens. But it's not only is our planet affected, but the subatomic particles affect the sun, and they make the sun even more active. So there's this cosmic energy. There's a lot more photons floating around. There's a lot more neutrinos floating around. So, and that's moving the ley lines and the dragon lines that are on the earth, which we're going to talk. That's some of what I'm going to be talking about when I'm with Andrea, and I'm going to talk with him. But the earth is just like us. It has a nervous system. It has a connective system. It has chakras, just like we have chakras. And those are sort of shifting. And the other thing that's happening is the North and South Pole actually are moving. And I didn't realize this, but I mean, why would I know? I'm not a person who studies this stuff. But every 11 years, the sun's North and South Pole switch. And I always sort of thought when that happened, like the earth would tumble, it would cause all kinds of problems. But what it apparently, they say, happens is right now, the North Pole's like almost to the edge of Russia, and it's going to come down the Pacific. The South Pole's moving away from Antarctica, and it's going up the other in the Pacific on that side. As those two get closer and closer together, on exactly the opposite point on our planet, something will be created that will become the polar region. And when those two unify, they will switch down to the South Pole, and the thing that's forming in the Atlantic will switch up and become the North Pole. So they say. I don't know how they know that, but that's what they're telling me. And that has a lot to do with why the energetic lines are moving. And the fact that we're going to have... It's Johann's idea that straighten up and together and connect it for us to be able to live healthily in the fifth dimension. And I believe that's probably true. Because, if you don't think you're energy, and if you don't think energy can affect you, go watch any ghost hunting shows. And when they talk about the EMF meter, which is the same thing they use to find out when electrical things are not set up properly. But the electronic, the EMF, that machine, it can tell them when other energy shows up, and that's one way they find ghosts. So there's a whole lot to what's going on with our energetics. That's why we're feeling a little dizzy and stuff. If you get to a place where the wiring isn't correct and you end up in the middle of what they call an EMF cage where the wiring's wrong and the electricity's wrong, it will give you a lot of the same symptoms that we're getting from the Ascension. So it's really an energetic shift thing that we need to know more about. I don't know, Teresa. You've missed some readings I've done for people. I'm going to go over where I'm going to be. I wasn't on at all last week, but I am going to be on now. And if you have a question, type it in bold. Okay. My daughter and partner are looking for a house. Will they be successful before summer? It's a money thing. It's a money thing. Let's see. Will I get it? I think it'll be fall before they can afford it. It's just a money thing more than anything else. Tammy, I would take that as a yes. She went to go twice. She tried to get to somewhere, and the universe conspired for her to not be there. I figure it's doing me a favor telling me that. Pamela, I've been told I'm changing soul families. Okay. Yes. Pamela, changing soul families. Yes, you got the transition card, and it's because your family doesn't let you become who you really are. They don't let you become this bright, intuitive person, or you haven't found the crowd too. Yes, you're changing soul families, and you're going to find some new people really soon. This shows behind you, your family, a little bit of backstabbing going on, but an awful lot of judgment. And it's time for you to move on. Do we have any more questions? Hello, everybody. I think I answered all the questions that were put on my things. And a lot of people were talking about signs of ascension, emotional ups and downs, ringing in your ears. Yeah, those are really, really common for people. I know there was a while this summer when every other reader had vertigo so bad they thought they were going to lose it completely. And those are downloads. Should I have a shamanic healing? Okay, let's see. shamanic healings. Yeah. From these first two cards, I'd say yes. I say it will release you from the depression you're feeling. It'll take you out of the sort of stormy seas, and it will help you let go of the stuff that's made you be trapped. That's the Eight of Swords. And I think you found someone to work with. So I'd try that. Oh, okay. Eliza, I'm not going to have to read cards to tell you about this. Do you know about archangels? And it doesn't matter what faith you are or anything else. All these guys, all you have to do is ask them. They'll work for you. They don't care if you never went to Catholic school. And I'm going to mark you because I want to answer that question for you. What you do is you get calm, you get in a peaceful space, and I always try to do this one sitting up because it makes it easier. And you ask Archangel Michael to come to you, and you can ask, I don't know if you know any of the other archangels, but I always like Ariel to come with him too because I think she's very healing. So is an angel called Haniel. She happens to be the sigil in my particular angel, but she was in other incarnations. She was a moon goddess. But have a couple of them come forward, and then you're going to ask Archangel Michael to take out his sword and to sever all unnecessary cords that are attached to you. Now, I knew about this practice for years. People talk about it at psychic fairs, and I'm going, okay, sure. And it wasn't until I was at home one Sunday and I said, I'm going to try it to see what happens. I could actually feel the cords being cut and that energy pushing back into my body. So you ask Archangel Michael to come and sever the cords to the front, to the back, to the left, to the right, above, and below. And just say, thank you for releasing these cords. And he will take his big sword, and you'll probably want to take a little bit of a nap after he does that. But it works. That's a way to sever. That'll sever cords you don't even know you're attached with. Is my youngest daughter intuitive? Well, we all are intuitive, but I think you're saying, is she sensitive now? And I don't know how old she is, so that makes it hard too. But is her younger daughter intuitive? Yes, and she's going to be very good at it. And someone in the family tells her, no, you can't do this. And that's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. They should let her do her own thing. She is very intuitive, and she will grow in that. All the kids that are being born now are coming in with some very special skills. Oh, thank you. I like dragonflies. That's my spirit animal for my crystal directions company. Okay, we're going to do Terry Ortega's the next 3 months. You're feeling trapped right now. You're really questioning some of the judgments you've made in the past about which way to move forward, and it's leaving you feeling a little emotionally bereft. But I see there's someone behind you who's being very supportive to you and helping you. You're going to make the right choices because you're going to get rid of you have some ideas that are, I'm going to say a very judgmental word here, wrong. And you're afraid to make a move because you're afraid of feeling trapped. This card is great for you, though. This is, if you look at that guy when he's right side up, he's got all those 7 of Wands, and he doesn't know quite, 6 of Wands. He doesn't quite know what to do with them. When it's reversed, it means he's figured it out, And that's where it was on your reading. So you are in the process of figuring out where you're going to need to go next. You need to go to a place where you feel balanced and safe. And that may mean losing some friendships, but also you need to get rid of some delusions you have about a direction you were headed in. Let's see what comes out of this. Okay, and then... Okay, something's coming towards you that you don't even know about. You got the High Priestess, and it shows about putting the pieces together. It means you have to let things go. You actually should listen to a younger person. They've been trying to tell you how to move forward into a better space. But I think you're going there anyway, and something new is coming towards you that you can't even imagine. Okay. Oh yeah, Tammy, when you watch someone do readings, you're not here by accident. And it's interesting because I always used to, when I would work psychic fairs, there was a time when I was in the middle of a long, forever drawn out custody battle. It was more than 40 years ago. But it was just a mess. And I would sit there at psychic fairs, and every single person that came to my table was divorced, was getting divorced, was thinking about getting divorced, or had some kind of child custody get paid for my kids thing going on in their life. And I talked to the readers, and I said, are you getting people who are like that? And they go, no, dear, you're just pulling in what you're most concerned about. So... Eliza, I don't know what you can do except to tell Michael it's sort of the final thing you want to do. If you write me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com, I'll send you a prayer that I give people to release negative energy. It's called the Violet Flame. But if you haven't tried St. Michael, try him. And if he doesn't work, then come back and get the Violet Flame. I had a woman who got the Violet Flame because she took my garden class, and she was fascinated with it, so she just did it in the room she was in, and then she said, it does kind of feel different in here. She stomped around her whole house. She said she had no idea how much dark energy just kind of creeped in, and she wasn't doing anything to attract it that she knew of. But she now knows she does a Violet Flame all the time. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And I like you being supportive to each other. Oh, she's 10? Yeah, she's going to just blossom and grow. And I think she's being told now she's surrounded in a community. This is a little child that's intuitive, where there have been some people who said some negative things. I think if she has a father figure, he's not terribly in love with the idea she's like that. Intentionally just kind of seeing all positive responses from my pendulum and concerned about influencing it. Should I do? Well, if you're working with the pendulum, you need to, first of all, make sure that, ask this universe if you have the permission to read right now, and are you protected? And then you can swing your pendulum and do some fun stuff. But the 3 questions I always ask when I start, and this is my pendulum form that I use. I don't know if you can see that too plainly there. Yeah, you can. And I always start with, and I put the questions are actually at the bottom of the page. And it's, do I have permission to dowse? Am I aligned with my higher self? And am I fully protected? Those are the 3 questions. And just start with it in the middle. And then some people close their eyes. Some people leave their eyes open. But they'll go like, do I have permission to dowse? And it's going to the yes. The yes is at the top up here. Am I aligned with my higher self? Yep. And Am I fully protected? And that's the one that's important because you're pulling in a lot of energy when you work with pendulums. Am I fully protected? It's telling me kind of today, you're not, your energy is not up, and that would be true because my energy is not up where it should be. But I don't think your pendulum's lying to you. And I actually got some dowsing rods too because I wanted to go out and find some ley lines around me. Oh, dragonflies are incredible spirit animals. They're born in the water, which is in our world of motion. They live most of their lives in the air, which is thought. They are transporters of energy across two of the elements that are really important. The other thing about dragonflies is that it's said that they could hover and fly all the way they do because they were a place for angels to sit when they got tired and see what's happening. Good, Annette. Go sever them cords. Vivian C. Okay. Vivian C wants to know if she's going to have more grandkids. And if she's going to meet somebody. I think we'll make that two different questions unless it's somebody you're going to meet as your grandkid. Always happens, But we're going to start with more grandkids because that's what I'm going to put first. Okay. More grandkids for Vivian C. Not right now. One of them is not in a settled enough home to feel safe doing this, or there's something wrong there. And it's a daughter. That's what I'm picking up. It's within the female that's in this thing. They need to get better prepared to go ahead and have more children. Now, let's see about you, meeting Mr. Wonderful, or Mrs. Wonderful, whichever. Vivian, you got a lot of things to start this year, and one of them is not a relationship with someone. You've got other things to do. Getting your own house comfortable. Okay. And my great-granddaughter, 7, was previously abused. She's hiding things and are told not to say anything. Is she still being abused? Okay. This granddaughter is still being abused. Yeah, I'd look at the dynamics of that family. I don't know. I don't know all what's going on, and it may be they just don't want her to talk about what happened in the past. But something's going on there, and it's not healthy for this child. She needs to be able to move on, and she can't. Eliza, I'd have to take... First of all, your mother can try and put cords in you, or she can teach them how to do that. It's up to you to break them. Yeah. You want me to see if Mom's ready to come help you with this? Look at that. card that wanted to stay on the table. Huh? Yeah, she really does. She knows that some of what's going on here she helped set up. So I would pray with her and ask her, because it's stopping you from moving on and being your fullest self and being able to achieve everything you need to achieve. I don't know how they're doing that, but it's what I saw. Thank you for the Valentine's things. Thank you for the stickers. Okay, Carol wants to know if she should make a career change. She's helping people who are adopted find their parents. It's fascinating things genetics does now. Okay. What I see is you have an intention in some way to move on, because sometimes it's really tragic when they won't unify and it's causing you some sort of emotional pain. But you're good at what you do, and you do help people with legal situations. It doesn't show that it's time for you to move on. You need to make up your mind of what kind of a messenger are you when you're working with this in this field. That's what I think is upsetting you more than anything else. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. If you're, so I think the energy you're working with is fairies. Fairies are very elemental. Are you good with animals? Do cats and dogs and things like you? Because people who work with the fairies tend to be very good with the animals. I have a good friend who's very good with fairies, and she's very good with animals. I mean, they just come up to her. Yeah, you saw a real fairy. But it's not your primary connection to things. I think it kind of got caught coming in your house trying to help you with something. And you can ask questions, Pamela, because you're right. When people don't ask questions, then I have nothing to answer. Although I'm going to be closing this down in about 2 minutes. Thank you, SG. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate people who come to my channel, go to my store, buy my stuff, buy gardens. I'm going to start having a garden party one day a week where I work with the garden and talk about using it. Okay. Do you have a message? Put the message in the cards, and that's Mother. Okay, the story I get from this is that you're in a pretty much of a comfortable place to some extent, Annette, and don't go looking for trouble. And because your mom was not that kind of person, and she did go look for trouble. I mean, she just had her own way of doing things, and she feels like she never taught you how to invest yourself well, but she's happy to see you sailing on to happier seas. Okay, let's see. Bye. Okay. What in Judy has her locked up? Oh. What's got you locked up in this life is you're disappointed because the past life you kind of pretty much could do everything you wanted and you didn't have to work really hard at it. And in this life you've come in with the lesson to work a little harder. And so you feel, sometimes you feel backed in a corner and you remember this life when you could kind of help and take everybody in, but you can't. You can't be King Solomon. You can't make all the decisions for these people. You have to let them go make their own decisions. And at that, we're 2 seconds away from an hour. Thank you to everyone who came. Thank you for all the people who supported the channel, and thank you for all the people that buy the grids and buy the goodies. And I'm about to have eggs. If Wisconsin will verify for me what the production schedule is. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to put eggs out there and end up with people not being able to get them again. No, it wasn't your imagination. You saw energy in your house. And they will go to electronics. They will go do that. Okay, my schedule for the week is getting very full. Tomorrow, on the 16th, which is Wednesday, at this time, at this station, I will be doing a premiere, which means I'll be in the chat room and Jean will be in the chat room. If you want to come see it, you can talk about what we're looking at. Later that day, on the 15th, I will be taping a show with, not taping, I mean, we're going to do a live with Andrea and I, and we're going to discuss chakra stones and building up a collection of stones to what you need, what you may personally need. And then Danny is going to put my show up. Wait a minute. Okay. And Danny's putting my show up on 2/15. Okay. There's going to be a notice. I'll send it out exactly when Danny's show is going to get up. He's got a cute little thing to go with it. Tomorrow, on the 15th, God, there's just too many days in the month, guys. Lilac Lantern will be on the 16th. I've got two shows. I've got the premiere at the 1 o'clock, and I have Andrea at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Danny is on 2/15. He's tomorrow at 7 p.m. when I talk with him about aliens and really dealing with energy. I think aliens have been around us for a long time. It's just our frequencies aren't high enough to see them. And so that's why we do. Okay. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Teresa Ford, I don't know why you're feeling. Did you ask a question? I will go back and look and see if I can find a Teresa Ford question. Or if you want to type it in real quickly right now. I don't understand your comments. I mean, they're just, and I know you guys have no idea how confusing it is to try to talk and watch you and do everything else. But Teresa, I no way meant to not pay attention to you. And yes, I am very lucky to be able to hang out with some of the fun people that I know. And I appreciate everyone who showed up today to support the show. Even though we once again had a rocky start. I'm going to have to figure that one out. But I'm hoping on 2/17 at 1 p.m. to do a premiere. And I'll be in the room. But Johan Van Wyck, I don't think he will be. Because he's doing stuff in South Africa. But we'll see. And I'll let you know. And I'll put out posts on what's coming up. And I want to thank everyone who came here.